Well, after months of speculating, Dylan Raiola has officially made his college commitment. After initially being committed to the Ohio State Buckeyes, Dylan Raiola completely opened up his recruiting, and the main teams that looked to be getting his signature were going to be Georgia, Nebraska, or USC. And after all the rumors that have been going around, after all the videos that have been made about him, Dylan Raiola has officially committed to the back-to-back national champion Georgia Bulldogs. This is the Georgia Bulldogs' third five-star recruit in the class of 2024, and they currently have the fourth best recruiting class in the country. But we all should know, when it's all said and done, they're more than likely gonna have the #1 recruiting class. So Georgia just got absolutely better. Let me show you guys the absolute weapon of a quarterback that you guys are getting, because in all honesty, I know there have been a lot of players who've been, there's a lot of comparisons to Patrick Mahomes. This is the closest thing that I've seen to Patrick Mahomes coming out of high school since Patrick Mahomes. But I want to hear from y'all. Comment down below, all my UGA fans. What are you guys' thoughts on landing the #1 recruit in the country? Be sure to leave this video a like. It means so much to me. It helps get this video out to even more Georgia Bulldog fans. Celebrate with more Georgia. Come on, it's just everything Georgia. Leave this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn your notifications. We will keep you up to date with all the recruiting moves that the Georgia Bulldogs make. And now, let's take a look at the Georgia Bulldogs' new QB1 and Dylan Raiola. 3, 2, 1. So Dylan Raiola is currently standing at 6'3", 220 pounds, and this kid has the most ridiculous arm. I have covered almost a decade straight of high school recruits to this point. We're about 7 years into doing this whole recruiting analyst thing. I have never seen a player with just the pure arm strength that Dylan Raiola has. I've seen other players who, they might be a little bit more accurate. They're gonna definitely have just better mechanics overall. But when it comes to just letting that ball fly, I have seen nobody be able to do it better than Dylan Raiola. He flicks his wrist. I mean, legit, look at where he's throwing this. He's throwing this from let's just call it the 49 just to be fair. And he's throwing that almost at the back of the end zone off of just flicking the wrist. Again, from the 45, and he's dropping that on the 5. Another 50-yard bomb. Like he makes 50-yard throws look effortless. This might be one of, and by the way, these are his sophomore year highlights. He doesn't have his junior year highlights up on Huddle. Look at across the field, and look at where he places this ball. Across the field in the absolute corner of the end zone. Not only does he have a strong arm, he also is very accurate with that arm as well. Georgia, all they need to do is get 5% of his potential, and they will get a national championship every single year that he starts. Dylan Raiola has to be the most exciting quarterback prospect coming out of high school, since it depends on if you had Bryce Young as a higher prospect than Trevor Lawrence. But I think just as far as pure hype, I think that no player is got as much hype as Trevor Lawrence. I know that, Arch Manning had some hype, but he wasn't as good as everybody hyped him up to be. Quinn Ewers got a bunch of hype, but I don't think he had as much hype as Trevor Lawrence did. This guy right here, Dylan Raiola, he's up there with some of the greatest high school quarterback prospects of all time. I mean, the only thing that you want to see him do is just continue to work on his mechanics. He's gonna be he literally, you guys can see, he throws everything about him, the way that he's built, his throwing motion, his arm strength, all of it screams Patrick Mahomes. There is no other comp. It's just Patrick Mahomes. So obviously there are a lot of intangibles that Patrick Mahomes has that, you can't really, I mean, literally look at this throw. Rolling away from his throwing arm, is about to get hit, throws it directly across his body, and then hits a receiver coming across the middle. Like what type? Like he has that magic. Again, look at eyes surveying the entire field. Sees this guy, boom, flicks the wrist and throws it into the corner of the end zone where only his receiver can get it. Like Dylan Raiola has that magic. Like, I know that, every single year there's always going to be a couple of recruits that get really hyped up. Last year it was Arch Manning. A couple years ago, you had guys like Bryce Young, DJ Uyunglele. I simply don't see Dylan Raiola failing. The only thing, he's the only person that can get in his way. But you already know that Kirby Smart is going to help nurture and get the most out of this kid. Again, I want to see him just clean it up a little bit. I mean, Patrick Mahomes wasn't the perfect prospect coming out of college. He had to fix some of his mechanics. His consistency wasn't always there, and he had to rein in some of his throws. But he could make every throw. That's exactly like all the flaws that Patrick Mahomes had coming up as a recruit and as soon to be a college player. They're all going to be the same for Dylan Raiola. Like, can he break down defenses? Can he, you know, make the most of the offense that Georgia's able to put out there for him? Which, by the way, we'll go over some of the offensive weapons that he should have there at Georgia while he's there. So be sure to watch until the end of the video for that. But I mean, Dylan Raiola, this kid can flat out spin it. I mean, you guys have been watching it on this film. Smooth throwing motion, arm for days. He's got the creativity. He can make plays out of nothing. I just simply don't see where he fails. Like, again, he's the only one that can get in his way. But I just think, you know, he's handled everything about this recruiting process extremely well. He's gone through every single, like, you know, he got a lot of flack for his decommitment from Ohio State, but Ohio State wasn't the right pick for him. He ended up going to Georgia multiple times. He had a couple of links with Nebraska. He wanted to give USC a look, but at the end of the day, Georgia's about to go on an Alabama-like run. I honestly believe that Georgia's about to take over Alabama. Alabama had their 10-year run. I think that Georgia's about to go on their 10-year run. If Georgia could win 2 national championships back-to-back with Stetson Bennett, just imagine what you're going to do with Dylan Raiola. This is the NFL where you're like limited by a cap. You can have the best quarterback in college football as well as having the best players at each and every single other position. I mean, just look, like, guy's draped all over him, keeps his eyes downfield, and then just throws a rifle into the back of the end zone. Let it fly. Boom. Again, just nice and smooth, super easy catchable ball. And again, these are his sophomore year highlights. Like, I don't think you guys are understanding. He's gotten infinitely better since then. Like, his arm talent is unreal. So the Georgia Bulldogs went ahead and got themselves some insurance for the future, bringing in the #1 player in the class of 2024 in Dylan Raiola. You know, we made a couple of videos speculating that Dylan Raiola would be going to Georgia. He did have his huddle profile for a very long time, was him in a Georgia Bulldog uniform. The stars were all aligning for him to go to Georgia, but now that it's official, this is absolutely insane. You just were not, you know, Georgia was heavily linked with Arch Manning last year. Obviously, Arch ended up going to Texas, so now Georgia's got their quarterback of the future. I think that Dylan Raiola is infinitely better than Arch Manning or Quinn Ewers. I think Bryce Young was a little bit more polished, so you can't really... Bryce Young doesn't have as high of a ceiling as Dylan Raiola, but his floor is way higher than Dylan Raiola's floor is. So Dylan Raiola is, I'm not going to call him a boom or bust guy. I just think with that arm, you can get a lot done. Again, it's really how much time does he spend in the playbook? How much time does he spend to developing his technique, his mechanics, polishing everything up, and then just staying out of trouble. That's really it, because Georgia's good to put the pieces around him. I mean, just in the class of 2024 alone, they're bringing in 2 4-star wide receivers in Nye Carr and Nigerian Tuggle, who Nigerian Tuggle might be one of the most just athletic and shifty wide receivers in the entire country. And then they're also bringing in the fastest running back in the class of 2024 in Dwight Phillips Jr., 4-star running back. Like, they're going to put pieces around him, not even including the guys that they already have at Georgia, plus the guys that they're going to be picking up in the transfer portal. You already know they picked up 2 top wide receivers from the transfer portal, and Ra Thomas and Dominic Lovett. So Georgia's going to always be a hot spot for these top recruits and top wide receiver recruits. They're going to add a couple more tight ends they already got. Lawson Lucky is looking to be a star over there. They already got their guys over there. Really, it's just about how much is the entire team going to develop. Kirby Smart has a system over there. He's got a plan and he's executing it to perfection. And the only piece that was missing was that absolute star-studded de facto, no questions asked QB1, and they got it in Dylan Raiola. I want to hear from all my UGA fans. Comment down below. This is a happy day for all Georgia fans across the country. Be sure to leave this video a like and get this video out to more Georgia Bulldog fans. Comment down below your thoughts. It's three-peat season. We're about to see it. Like, I don't see another team that can stop them. It's about to be a three-peat, and Georgia's about to go crazy. Comment down below, like, subscribe. I love and appreciate all y'all. I will catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.